Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Hello, my name is Brandon Locklear. I'm a senior forecaster here at the National Weather Service in Raleigh. And if this is your first time, this briefing is basically to inform you, give you a heads up of any type of significant weather or hazard impacts that we're expecting for the upcoming week. And at the end of this briefing, I'll give you a chance to ask a question, but please hold those questions till the end. And we're going to get started. So we're going to look at the previous 7 days before we look at the upcoming 7 days, because we actually had some significant developments. As you remember from the last briefing, we had a strengthening and expanding drought across central North Carolina over the last 30 to 60 days. In fact, we were starting to see the development and growing of a moderate drought across central North Carolina. And as many of you know who have been here the last several days, we actually had some significant weather systems that moved through the area. So if you go to this next slide, you can see in the bottom right corner there, that's the seven-day rainfall. And as you can see there across central North Carolina from Raleigh, extending up through Franklin County and Warren and Vance, that stripe of heavier rainfall, that was from two different systems. We had easily widespread amounts of 2 to 3 inches in that area. And then all the other areas that you see there in green is 1 to 2 inches. So we actually saw some significant relief brought to the state from those weather systems. We also had a pretty close call for a couple of severe storms and even tornadoes, as you may be aware also that they did have somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 to 9 tornadoes out across the mountains and foothills. So that was very close to happening here in central North Carolina. But those storms did bring some significant rainfall. Also, we actually, behind that second system that moved through over the weekend, we saw some pretty chilly temperatures this past morning. And we actually saw some freezing temperatures, but very briefly, right around daybreak, across the extreme western and southwest Piedmont, we did see a few sites get down to 31 to 32. However, because it wasn't widespread and it wasn't more than just an hour or two, the growing season is going to continue. So that means that in the future, or in the next time we see the threat for some freezing temperatures or frost, we will continue to issue those products, freeze warnings, freeze watches, frost advisories for the entire 31 county viewing area. Looking ahead to this week's weather pattern, we are seeing that it's going to be a pretty quiet week coming up. We had a cold front that's going to approach the area from the west kind of tomorrow and into Wednesday, but it's really not going to bring any cooler weather or temperatures. It's pretty much going to be a mild front, and very little precipitation is expected. And we're basically going to see an area of high pressure that's going to slowly build east through the area through the middle part of the week. And then once that high slips to the east of us, we're going to see moderating temperatures for the upcoming week. So we'll expect today we'll be below normal, and then we'll start seeing moderating temperatures that by the time we get into Thursday and Friday, temperatures will be well above normal, a good 5 to 8 degrees. Our normal right now is upper 60s to lower 70s. But by the end of the week, we're going to see widespread mid 70s, upper 70s Thursday and Friday looking like the warmest day of the week. And we may even see an 80 or 81 across our southeast. So overall, we're going to see a very, above normal mild week coming up. And for the most part, dry conditions. Looking at our severe thunderstorm potential, as I mentioned, with dry conditions, we're not expecting any thunderstorms. So quiet in terms of thunderstorm potential. I can't believe it, but tomorrow is actually the end of the month. And as you know, it's going to be Halloween, and we're expecting very seasonal temperatures, dry conditions. Skies will be partly cloudy to mostly clear tomorrow evening. And we will start to see temperatures right around, sunset when all the little kids are starting to go out and collect their candy, start to fall into the low 60s to 50s. So you'll probably need a little jacket tomorrow evening as you embark on your annual trick-or-treating. And as someone noticed, sunset is around 6:20 to 6:25, and the moon will be at an 84% full, so it will be casting a little bit of light out there for you. As I mentioned earlier, we're not expecting a whole lot of rainfall in the next several days. So it's a good thing we got our rainfall the last several days. So, we could see a little improvement in that drought map that you saw earlier at the beginning of the briefing. But given that we're expecting in the next several days to be fairly dry, I wouldn't expect any changes to be radical. There's the 8 to 14 day outlook for both temperature and precipitation. And you can see that we're expecting fairly mild temperatures with a 60 to 70% probability of above normal temperatures during that week 2 period. And we're looking at a continuation after this week of a continuation of below normal chances for rainfall. So, which is not too abnormal, as fall and autumn is usually our driest season. Looking at the tropics, everything's quiet, which is good news as we get into early November. And then finally, if you look at the 7-day outlook, shouldn't be anything that really surprises us. You see there on Saturday and Sunday, there is a slight chance. That is with a cold front that right now models are having a hard time. A lot of model spread, a lot of differences. Some of the models suggest that front will come this far south. Others keep it to our north. So right now we're keeping it rain chances pretty low. But you can see, temperatures mostly in the 70s for the upcoming week. And that's about it. So now we'll see if there's any questions.